Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, happy weekend, whatever. My name is Pastor Ojimba Alex, and this is Gospel Faith Television that you're watching. Today's topic is going to be modern day slavery in Libya. Pray for peace. That's the name of this topic. It's called Modern Day Slavery in Libya. Pray for peace. Modern day slavery in Libya / pray for peace. Now, I want you to understand. No, first and foremost, before I get into this modern day slavery in Libya, pray for peace, it would be nice for us to understand what slavery really means. And in my mind, the definition of slavery is it means being in a place or being in a situation where somebody is dominated and has to work for another person for free. I'll say it again. Slavery means being in a place or being in a situation where somebody is actually forcing you physically. They've intimidated you to work for them. They're dominating you. You've been dominated, and you have to work for them, that other person, for free. That's my definition of slavery. You're working for somebody else against your will, but you have to do it anyway because you know what the outcome is going to be. They're going to humiliate you. They're going to punish you. They're going to beat you. They're even going to kill you. They might even shoot you. That's what slavery is all about. Now, and I want to say that the black people that are being held in Libya, because today is what? The 30th of... Today's the 30th? Today's the 1st? Okay, today's the 1st of December 2017, and this year is almost coming to an end. And there's modern day slavery going on in Libya, and it's all over the social media, it's all over the newspapers, it's all over television. And I want to say that the black people that are being held hostage in Libya, they're mainly from West Africa. They're mainly from Nigeria, they're mainly from Ghana, they're mainly from Cameroon, they're mainly from the Ivory Coast, and etc. And that's why this situation has got an effect on me. I know it's got an effect on all humanity worldwide, but it's got an effect on me as well, because I'm a pastor and I'm going to talk about these things. So these so-called migrants, that's the word they use to define them, or these so-called slaves, they are passing through Libya trying to get to Europe. They're passing through Libya trying to get to Italy. That's what they're doing. And these Libyans, these Arab Libyans, have held them hostage. They take advantage of them. But these black migrants that found themselves in Libya, they're very peaceful people anyway. They didn't go there to fight no war. They just go in there because they want to pass through. They see it as a transit to get to where they're going. And these Arab Muslims, I want you to understand that these Arab Muslims that are slaving the black people in Libya, the Arab Muslims themselves were not even on the land in the beginning. In the beginning, that country called Libya wasn't even called Libya. In ancient of days, it wasn't even called Libya. It's a black man's land. So these black people that are being slaved in Libya, it's the black man's land in the first place. So literally, you're killing a black man in his own land. I don't understand it. I don't see why these black people have to go through this, because they are the originators. They are the pioneers of the land. And that's what even makes it more shocking for me. They're passing through, and the Arab Libyans will hold them hostage and say, hey, come here, and speak the Arab language, and maybe they're not able to communicate. They've been targeted. They've been beaten up. They've been demised. They've been humiliated. And that's why there's an outcry all over the world. And after they've been humiliated, they begin to slave them. But I'm here to say that black people have been here before. And I'm here to say that black people have become the laughing stock of the world again. There must be something special about black people, because it seems that everybody around the world is targeting black people. They've become the laughing stock of the whole world again. Modern day slavery in Libya, happening in 2017. This is 2017, man. What happened to civilization? What happened to where we're coming from? What happened to the Dark Ages? What happened to the transatlantic slavery? And 2017, people are still being enslaved in Africa. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. I never heard of anything like this during the Gaddafi regime. Look at that man. I don't know, maybe 5 years ago, Gaddafi was killed or whatever, the Libyan leader. A lot of things were said, but I'm just going to judge this case on what I know. And the ex-president of Libya, who is Gaddafi, an Arab man, when he was in control of the country, I never heard that black people were slaved in Libya. Gaddafi wouldn't let that happen. Gaddafi, look at it again. He would never let that happen. They say Gaddafi committed all these atrocities and everything. I don't know. It's not even my business. But what I do know is the black people that I met in Italy that came through Libya, they were saying nice things of Gaddafi. They said Gaddafi look after them. Gaddafi will never let modern day slavery happen in Libya. And that's why we have to pray for peace. What are the black African presidents saying about this? What are they doing about this? What are the black African presidents doing about the modern day slavery in Libya? You're going to turn a blind eye? You're going to turn up in your limousine? You're going to turn up in your nice clothes? You're gonna display your mansions? That's not the reason why they made you a president. They made you a president, a black African president, for times like these. When your people are suffering, when your people are crying, when your people have been targeted, you have to come out and speak, say something. I don't see no African leader, I don't see no African president saying nothing. So what is the essence of being an African leader? What is the essence of being an African president? I want to know. I'm telling you, if black American citizens were to go to Libya and they were turned into modern day slaves, George Bush would have something to say about this. That's George Bush. The ex-American president, he would never let that happen. George Bush would go to war. I'm telling you, he will speak up. He will say something. The black American population will cry out. He will speak. He will send troops to Libya. George Bush will never let this happen. Modern day slavery will never happen to a black American citizen or a white American citizen. They won't let that happen. This is why Donald Trump is the most powerful man in the world today. This is why Donald Trump is the most powerful president in the world today. Because if this was to happen to an American citizen, George Bush, what's his name, and Donald Trump will give you 3 days and say return them back to the American turf. Otherwise, you will smell the coffee. You will smell the heat. You won't let that happen. Or you take an English citizen and you hold him hostage in Libya and you say he's a modern day slave, and you're beating him up and you're hanging him on the cross and doing all kind of thing, and you think Tony Blair will let that happen? I don't think so, man. They will never let this happen. They will take this They will take this to 10 Downing Street. They will talk about this. And they will reverse the situation. They will retrieve their citizens. So black African presidents, do something. Do something. Don't turn a blind eye. Do something, man. Do something. And the reason why most of these black African migrants are being held hostage in Libya is because their country's governments have failed them. You can't tell me that if the economy in Ghana was booming, or the economy in Nigeria is booming, or the economy in Cameroon is booming, or the economy in East African countries or West African countries are booming here, you telling me that the citizens would have to go to Libya to look for a brighter day in Italy? It doesn't make sense. So I'm still pointing the finger at the black African presidents. Sort your country out. Because if you don't sort your countries out, there's more of this. There's going to be more black African victims on the continent. How many times do you see Libyan Arabs going to Nigeria trying to get food to get somewhere? No, because they don't want to be victims. They don't want to be victimized. So it's the situation that has led these black African citizens to go through there, to Libya. There's too much corruption in black African countries. It needs to change. I am Pastor Ojimba Alex. And that's why the topic for today is modern day slavery in Libya. Pray for peace. A black man is being slaved on his own land. That's not good. That's the worst example. A black man being slaved on his own land. Doesn't Africa belong to black people? It doesn't belong to black people anymore? You're telling me how to live in my own house now? Black man being enslaved on his own land. I think black African countries, we have to change our systems of government. In black African countries, we have to change our system of government. Yeah, because if we change our system of government, we can get rid of this poverty. We can get rid of this shame. We can get rid of this unemployment. We can get rid of this hype. It's too much. 2017, a black man is still being enslaved in Libya. Modern day slavery. It's hard for me to contain. It's hard for me to accept. Am I not a black man myself? Am I not allowed to speak about the issue? Of course I'm going to speak about the issue. And you know, all over the world, I see a lot of black Africans and black people answering Muslim names. But sometimes I question it because I say to myself, our forefathers who own the North African soil and our forefathers who own the Middle East, those black Africans that own the Middle East and North Africa, the originators of the land, those black people that were there, they were not Muslims. Those people that were there before the Arabs came, those black people that lived in Israel, those black people that lived in Iraq, those black people that lived in Egypt before the Arabs came, they were not Muslims. They had their own black African culture. So that's why I question, is it right for black people to be answering African, is it right for black African people to be answering Muslim names? Because if our forefathers were alive today, they wouldn't agree to that. Our black African forefathers are not happy with us changing our original names into Muslim names. When they were alive, they had names like Chukwuemeka. They had names like Chibike. They had names like Osinachi. They had names like Edebo. They had names like Onyinye. They had names like Taiwo. They had names like Ogedengbe. And the list goes on and on. These are African names with meanings. So you can see that the black African man is still being exploited today. Chukwuemeka means God has done great things for us. Chibike means God is power. Osinachi means coming from God. So we got to look back and go back to the drawing